Hello, Jefferson Multimedia. I want to play with recipe cards a little bit, and there are two main things that I really want to do with this project. I want to stress how easy it is to paraphrase our ingredients and our directions, and I want to look at how to use different templates to show the same process in different ways, so we can talk about what's pretty and what's not pretty when it comes to graphic design. So the first thing we want to do, we want a dish that has less than 7 ingredients and less than 7 instructions. So what I did was I looked for French toast, few instructions. And at food.com, I found a copy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients and then just 3 directions. This is what we're looking for, less than 7. They've got eggs, milk, vanilla, cinnamon, sugar, and bread. So they've got 5. I'm going to add 2 more because what are we going to put on top of it? Butter and syrup. So if I add butter and syrup to my 5 ingredients, I've got 7, and the directions are way simple. So what I want you to do to paraphrase your stuff, start with the ingredients by themselves, right? Select it, copy, and then if you go to docs.new, it'll open a new Google Doc. I'm going to call mine French toast card because I'm making a recipe card. And then in a lot of our paraphrasing work, we'll do insert, table, and then we'll go down to 2 by 1. When that happens, you get a split screen. In the left-hand side, I want you to paste your original ingredients, but paste without formatting is what you're looking for. And then it will just give you the text. Let me clean this up. So over in the right-hand side, there's not much paraphrasing we need to do, so I'm going to change my numbers into letters. And also a great way to paraphrase is just to change the order of your ingredients. So why don't I put the bread first? 6 slices of bread. But what else do we have? I just changed the number 6 into the letters S-I-X. And then I could just do 2 eggs, spell out the T-W-O. Half teaspoon cinnamon sugar. 1/4 teaspoon vanilla extract. Half cup milk. Now notice, with each new line, I'm capitalizing the first letter. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do the same thing with the instructions, too. Let's see how that works. Oop, they're right here. Let's copy. Back here. Put a blank line between your ingredients and your instructions, and do that paste without formatting thing. If you just do paste, sometimes this changes weird colors, or it gives you a format that you don't want. So I'm going to break this into pieces and put an extra line just because. We need less than 7 instructions. It looks like we might have more than 1 instruction per line. Here you want to keep them in the same order. Beat the eggs. Add cinnamon sugar, milk, and vanilla, and combine. I just changed beat to combine, and I put the ingredients in a different order. Instead of soak each slice, dip bread in the egg mixture on both sides. Notice how I'm condensing and making it short because we want to have more picture than words. How about brown both sides? Brown both sides in butter in a non-stick skillet. So notice that our paraphrases aren't that tough. All we need to have is less than 7 ingredients, less than 7 instructions. And if you have more than one thing going on, don't be afraid to break one instruction into 2 parts as long as you get less than 7. So that's it. Now let's talk about how to take this stuff and put it in a template. All right, step 2, head to Adobe Express. You want to search for recipe cards. Look at the templates. You're going to see a lot of them. View all. You're looking for examples that are mainly pictures, not words. You don't want a ton of words, line after line after line, because we want this to be mainly photos, not words. Let me find my favorite one that fits that criteria. So how do you pick a favorite? Hover over one that looks good, click the heart, So at any time to go back to your main menu, click on the rainbow A right here. And since you've already favorited some of those templates, click on your stuff. You're going to get lots of choices. Click on, guess what? Favorites. Let's see if we can find something simpler. I want something that's majority picture, right? And a little bit of room for text at the bottom. This one looks good because we have a photo, we got a text to tell us what the thing is, and at the bottom we have a place where we could put the ingredients on one side and the instructions on the other. Customize template. Let's fix it. So French toast, enter, and we go to images, tools, size, large. Kind of like this one. What happens if I click on it? Comes over here. We want a picture that at least one of the dimensions are 1,000. If I click visit, will it take me there? Right click on that picture and open image in new tab. Because when you get that, you get the biggest copy of the picture. Right click again, save image as French toast, save it to your desktop, and let's move on to the next step. Now, if I want to put my French toast pic right here, I click on it, and then replace. I want to replace with an upload. So I will go to my desktop where I've saved the pic of the French toast, right? And I'll click on that. Open. It doesn't fit quite right, does it? I want to see if I can remove the background and put that curve on the edge. Is it going to happen? Because that's the picture of my French toast, right? I can't go quite high enough to get the butter on it. But that'll work, won't it? What if I take this and I move it to the back so the words are on top of it? Perfect. Can I pump down the brightness? How do I do that? Adjust. So that you see it. But what if I want to make it bigger? Can I just... Yeah, I'm just pressing the plus button. Let's zoom in. How do I do that? Remember, if you can't get to any certain thing over here, look for that layers button, click it and open it up. But if I just make the percentage bigger, like if I go to 50%, yeah. Whoa, that's too big. Okay, what if I go back to 25%? Yeah. And then I'm just scrolling down. Cooking Masterclass. Do I need that? No. What's this stuff? Extra words. Do I need it? No. I like this. Can I move this whole thing up? No. Get back over. If you make a mistake and you want to undo, Control Z. Ingredients. Now, for my ingredients, I want to go to my docs, right? So, French toast card. Is this where my paraphrase? Yeah, And I want to use the paraphrase stuff, right? Where I've changed the words out from numbers and I'm using letters. So if I copy from my ingredients, if I'm in that box, what if I just paste? It adds my ingredients. Why don't I just delete the stuff that was there? It was 6 slices of bread. Did I delete it? Yeah. You look at me typing things by myself. So then, with my instructions, I'm going to select them all and then do the right click and then copy. Then, can I just click before the beginning of the text? And then what if I Control V for paste? Look at that. There's some stuff at the bottom that was there before from the template, right? So what if I just delete that and maybe get rid of the blank lines between. Now let's talk about combine cinnamon, sugar, milk, and vanilla. Now what I'm doing is I am condensing this so it's as short as possible. Why? Because I want everything to be one line, right? Dip bread and egg mixture on both sides, brown both sides in butter on a non-stick skillet. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of ingredients. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of instructions. I usually wouldn't do this, But to make things symmetrical, 5 lines on one side, 5 lines on the other, I just added enjoy. The only time I want you to add enjoy or eat or whatever is if it'll make things symmetrical, make things balance out. We don't need the dates at the bottom. Let me get rid of that. What about this thing too? Let me get rid of that too. Sweet. Let's zoom out. Zoom to fit page. Boop. So something is going on. Is this just a shading thing? Yeah, it adds a texture. So we've got ingredients and we've got instructions. Can I Control Z? Can I move this whole box up? No, I can't. But if I go to my layers, I can. What if I make sure that they're all the same size? They're all the same size. Then can I just resize it? I think I'm done. I got my picture, I got my title, I got my ingredients, I got my instructions. So the big thing we want to do is make sure things are symmetrical, so the same on one side versus the other side. And when we talk about alignment, when we talk about text justification, how if you look, everything on the left is justified to the left, everything on the right is justified to the right. If you click in that text box, you're looking for the align button. It's this dude right here. We want it to be aligned against the left because this text is on the left-hand side. We don't want it centered. We don't want it against the right. Where do we want it? We want it against the left-hand border. Why? Because it's on the left-hand border. Same thing with this stuff on the right. Don't center things. Ew. We don't want it on the left. Why? Because it's not on the left-hand border. It's on, guess what? The right-hand border. So use the sides of your document to tell you where text should start on the left or where it should end on the right. And if you have a little bit of blank space at the bottom, that's cool. We can crop that out. But this is what we're looking for. Pick, title, ingredients, instructions. Everything is even. Everything is symmetrical, meaning it's the same on the left and the right. The stuff on the left-hand side is justified against the left edge with some space. The stuff on the right-hand side is justified on the right with some space. If you can leave blank space at the bottom so we can crop it out, that's cool. But we don't want to have a bunch of blank space. Big title, everything at the bottom is equal and symmetrical, and we're done. That's it. Thanks. Bye-bye.